Well, go on, everybody. It's your boy Jay Smooth. We are back with another episode of Smooth Talks. Today's special guest, he knows his way around the ring. He's good with his hands. He's a professional boxer. It's Joe Hughes, everybody. Let's get into it. Let's go! So, Joe, professional boxer. How did it all start? Where did it begin? Because obviously you have to go from amateur then to professional. So what age did you start the boxing?
So really, I started a little bit of boxing when I was kickboxing first.
Is it kickboxing first?
Kickboxing first. Yeah, kickboxing first when I was like, I think I was about 12, 13.
Okay,
did that
young.
Yeah, did that for about.
Young but old enough to know.
Yeah, old enough to know and enjoy it, but I didn't really enjoy it. So I stopped doing it. So I did it for about a year, stopped doing it. Never carried on with it really. And then my old gym, so not this gym that I'm at now, but my old gym, I think I walked in there when I was about...
What, Rebels?
Yeah, so it was in Beeston at the time. It was called Beeston Boxing Club. Walked in there as a little
rookie in a greenhorn,
but as a little I won't say the word, but as a little naughty lad, walked in there like, I want to go to the gym, get big. Do you know what I mean? 16 years old, and ended up going there, started doing like weightlifting really, and obviously it was a boxing club, and I was always fascinated by the boxing, so I was just like saying to the owner, who's like family to me now, Kev, you've met him.
Yeah.
So I would always say to him, I want to do the boxing. He's like, when you're 18. So just kept going, kept going, and then turned 18, started boxing down there, and that's where it first started.
So, am I correct in saying, do some kids start boxing like dead young? Like, is there
some
kids boxing?
Yeah, some kids start at the age of like 5, 6, and then they'll have their first bout. I think it's a skills bout until up of the age of 11. So before that, a skills bout is where there's no winner to the contest. They're just putting what they know on display against each other. It's more kind of like a sparring match, but in a ring. So they're essentially having a fight and doing that. There's no winner, no loser, because they're kids.
Okay.
And then
man's still gonna feel like he's won, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm not gonna lie, if you've got the next kid's gonna.
Well, yeah, of course. So you're gonna feel like you've won. So there's that. Get to the age of 11, then that's when you start having proper bouts and start winning and start progressing through the system.
Okay, so you started with the kickboxing. Saw the boxing, I thought I want to do that.
I was no good at kicking.
Okay.
I couldn't kick.
I was gonna ask you what made the transition to like the kickboxing.
I was no good at kicking things. Like
okay.
when you're doing that high kicks, I can't kick high.
Kind of like me in it. Two good hands.
Got tight legs. Got tight legs, so I can't lift my leg very high.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just preferred the boxing, and I was all right at it. So
you just stuck with the boxing.
Yeah, stuck with the boxing. Preferred watching boxing because I think kickboxing is sort of more. It's harder to. The highest level is harder to watch. It's less often. Do you know what I mean? There's not as many British like elite kickboxing fighters. Do you know what I mean? So it's harder to come across them. Whereas boxing at that time.
Boxing is a bit more popular. It's more cherished. Yeah, everyone can understand it. A bit more.
Exactly. Whereas kickboxing, it's a little bit underground, kind of.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Plus the pay.
Unless they're in unless you're in the MMA, which isn't kickboxing, it's more underground, not televised. So yeah, boxing was always what drew my eye in.
Okay. So you thought, let me have a go at that, but I'm not gonna lie. It's someone like me. I don't like being hit. So what made you go, I don't mind being hit? Like,
I used to love fighting. That's all I did as a kid. Just fighting with my siblings. And
so you was always born for the scrap, innit, really?
I was always in the scrap and just fancied myself as being a fighter and just that's where it started.
Mad. So you just thought, okay, let me try my hand at it. So when did you know that you had talent? Because obviously anyone can fight to some extent, but to have a natural kind of...
That's where it sort of began, because I was boxing and I was enjoying it. I was doing it for like personal growth and health, because I was in sort of a bad part of my life where I wanted to move away from that sort of thing. I wanted to be someone. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't want to be the same old as the rest of the people from my town. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to make something of myself. So there was a guy who was a professional boxer. He trained at this gym at the time as a pro, and he used to come to my gym and help out, do sparring sessions and stuff like that. And he was the one that sort of saw that I had a talent, and basically just said, look, if you dedicate yourself and quit the silliness that you're doing outside of the boxing gym, you could potentially do something. So it's up to you. And from that moment there, switched my life up and focused solely on boxing.
Bro, so you really got into it from then, like.
Yeah.
But that's good though, isn't it? Like when people give you that motivation and they see something. Because I said this to Harry in one of the older episodes, and he was like, oh, his teacher saw he had something in like his photography, and then he was like, oh, that gave him that push to go, you know what? Let me do this more. I enjoy this. Someone else has seen I've got potential. Let me do it more. I've got that backing a bit more. It makes you feel a bit more confident.
I think that's what sometimes it takes. Sometimes it takes someone to bring something out of you, to like bring it out of you, and then if they care about you or they see, like I say, he's seen something in me. They want to nurture that talent and they want to develop it, and sort of that's where it began. And yeah, grateful to him for doing it, and he's still a big part of my life now. Good friend of mine, and yeah.
That's amazing, man. So you started your boxing career now. So you obviously started as an amateur, yeah. So you started at 18, you said?
Yeah, 18. So I didn't actually start. I boxed obviously in the kickboxing and boxing before. Just trained amateur in an amateur gym and stuff. But I never had any amateur fights.
Oh,
so I actually had unlicensed fights I did before turning pro.
So what's that? Is that like a fight that's not
So
meant
it's
to
similar
be
to
had?
charity fighting.
Oh, okay.
Similar to charity fights, but it's the people that do it would say it's semi-pro. I've never classed it as that. It's just unlicensed boxing. It's where you're not licensed. So like an amateur, you're not a carded amateur, but you're not a charity fighter. It's just like in between them two. So yeah, I was doing unlicensed boxing on a quite a well-known circuit. It's called the EBF, the European Boxing Federation. So they're quite, as the unlicensed scene, they're probably the best that there is. So I was boxing on there, and just.
So how long did you box on there for?
So from when I was 18 till I was 20. So only 2 years.
So only 2 years. And what?
2 years. 21, 18 till about 20, 21, and then at 21 I turned pro.
That's kind of short, you know. That's like 2, maybe 3 years. That's super short to really go from like complete amateur to pro. Like that's proper
Literally.
Prodigy and talent.
Yeah. So like I was just kind of walking through everyone on the unlicensed scene. I think I had 19 fights and I won, I think 17 of them by knockout. So I was just walking through them people, and I wanted to turn as an actual carded amateur, because then you can go to like the national championships.
What do you mean a carded amateur?
So a carded amateur, like that's what I was saying to you before, like the kids that come through when they're they get cards, so they box for like England and stuff, and that's how you go to. So like if you don't know that amateur boxing is a whole kind of different sport to pro boxing.
Okay.
So you know when you see people go to the Olympics,
yeah,
they're amateur boxers. You can't. You can nowadays, but beforehand you couldn't be a pro boxer and go to the Olympics. It's a different scoring system. It's a different style of fighting. It's totally different.
Right, that makes so much sense, because sometimes I think like, so where did they just pluck these people from? But
Yeah,
that makes sense now.
They're just amateurs, and it works. You go through like national championships, European championships, world championships, and then if you get selected or whatever, if you've done enough, you then go to the Olympics. Then turn pro after. So normally what people do is like you see AJ.
Yeah,
he won he went to the Olympics, won an Olympic gold medal, and then he turned pro after that.
So that from
and then he starts all over again. You're allowed to turn back to an amateur within having 3 pro fights. So if you say you had 1 pro fight, I'm not ready, go back. You could do that if you wanted to. I don't think it's ever been done or it could have been done, but it's rarely being done. Seen. I know it's just in the rule book, but yeah, once you turn pro, it's just a new journey, it's a new style of fighting. You would probably normally get a new coach, so a different coach to the amateur coach, because again, different style of fighting. It's just point system. Amateur boxing, they're trying to score points, whereas pro boxing, you're trying to knock people out. You've got small gloves on, you've got no head guard, and you're just trying to hurt people. Really, it's the hurt business, isn't it? So.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You're damn right, it's the hurt business. So, did you feel the shift going from amateur to pro?
Yeah. There was a long time of where, like I said to you before, I was kind of walking through the unlicensed people, and I wanted to progress more, like anyone. That's when they're doing something, they want to just get better and better.
Yeah, you have that hunger in your belly.
Yeah. So, I started sparring pros and stuff like that, and I was doing all right. Like I was doing enough to develop, and then just turned pro. Started learning my trade. You then become, because I've got no amateur experience. You then you're a pure rookie. It's a total different thing, different sport. So you then have to start your apprenticeship basically, and you're fighting these guys. You're doing 4-round fights on small hall boxing shows in leisure centres, and you're just learning your trade. Boxing guys that have had 100 fights, they might have not won any, or they might have won 1, 2, 3 fights, but they've had 100 fights, and if they wanted to switch it up and turn it on, they'll beat you. But they're there to develop you and again bring your talent.
So these pros as well, or
yeah. So they're pros. Like I say, they've had hundreds of fights, and really, if you when you turn pro and you box these they're called journeymen. So when you box these journeymen, they're tough. They're really tough. So when you turn pro and you box them, only the special people normally get a stoppage or something like that, knock them out.
Okay.
Stop them or knock them out, and that's I wouldn't say it's an aim, but every single person that turns pro, they want to knock their opponent out on their debut. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well, let's talk about your first debut. How was your first debut fight?
Well, as I just said, then I got the knockout first round.
Yeah, but
for 45 seconds in.
That's quick. I remember seeing your first fight, and I remember I was hyped. I was like, I'm gassed to see. Because I've never seen a boxing match before in my life, neither. So yours was the very first one I saw.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, and I saw you go boom, and I was like, hey, the fight's over already.
Yeah, I was so shocked because I was inexperienced and I'd not had any amateur fights. It was I was getting told, this is going to be hard. You know what I mean? It's your first pro fight. It's going to be hard. It's going to be different to all these people that you've knocked out before.
They prepared you for the worst type of thing,
so, and I had a hard, long camp because it takes a long time for the process of getting your license. You have to do medicals, brain scans, blood tests, all of that sort of stuff, interviews, and you have to go through a long old process to turn pro. And so all that time I was training. It was a long time, and I was in a very good stable at the time. I wasn't in this one, and I wasn't in my old gym. I was in another gym in Nottingham with a guy who is one of the main fighters there now. He's IBF European champion, British champion, just won the belt outright. He's Commonwealth champion, and so he's a special fighter. He is. He's 18-0 now. And so I was in a camp with him, and so we had a long old camp, and then just on the night I was just ready for it, and
you was ready. And definitely won
landed.
It. You won it. Was it not a bit? No, wrong. The victory is obviously sweet, but was it not disappointing because you've trained?
Yeah.
How long is the camp? How long is the training camp?
And normally a training camp's about, depending on what sort of fight you do, 8, 10, 12 weeks.
It's a long
But this was longer than that because
really
it was like I say, I was going through that process of getting my license and whatnot. So I think I was probably in the gym for probably 6 months. Whoa. Just chipping away, and then eventually that day comes, and when you beat them in 40 seconds, it's amazing. Yeah, you're buzzing, you're over the moon, but it's anticlimax. You know what I mean? And then it's because you've not done much in the fight, you've done one round. It's
you feel
you haven't got
you haven't got enough experience to kind of develop. Well, not
it's
develop, but
because you've done that so short. Your coach is well, you ain't having time off. You ain't just had a hard fight. You're back in the gym. get back to the gym. Do you know what I mean? What do you
So
need?
what, after
What do
fight,
you
you
need?
just went straight back in
Yeah,
the gym?
so it's like, what do you need time off for? Like, you've had one round. You've training 6 rounds like every day for the past 6 months. One round's nothing. Back in the gym and we'll go again. So that's what it was.
That's kind of sick though, like coach's perspective to say like, look, you got to keep the work up. Like,
yeah, you have to.
Which is sick because obviously that's how you progress, isn't it? Like you
100%.
don't stop your first victory. You don't go, that's it, I've won one time.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Yeah,
I don't need to fight again.
Exactly. So
Good lord.
it's all a part. Like I said, you become an apprentice of the pro boxing game, especially when you're in my position of having no experience. So it's like, yeah, you beat that guy, on to the next. Let's learn again, and let's continue to develop.
Do you feel like it made it harder for your second fight? Like obviously
Yeah,
because you
so-
won the first fight dead.
It's
quick.
then expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, because
Is this guy gonna knock him out?
Yeah, it's
Again,
like because it's like you become like, bow, you've knocked the first
Yeah.
guy, your first ever pro fight, you've knocked him out in 45 seconds. Boom, your second fight, people are like, let's see then.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be another 45-second job? Is he gonna lose this time? Did he
Exactly.
just get lucky?
Yeah.
It's a lot riding
That's
on the
it.
second
So-
one. It's like
Yeah,
good.
so then
The second one's
it's
like
just
your
high
first one, but
expectations. It's just high
worse.
expectations. Yeah, high expectations. People expect a lot of you. You expect a lot of yourself. If it could like not. I'm not personally like that, but it could then make like complacency. Go,
Yeah.
oh, knock these guys out. Do you know what I mean? I can beat this guy. Just I don't even need to train. So it can develop that mentality. Yeah, it can develop that mentality and that ego. But no, I've always been a true professional and take everyone as I'm fighting the best fighter that there is. So.
But that's the best way to look at it. Like you're
got to.
fighting the champion each and every
got to,
time,
yeah.
because it's like how else will you progress? How else will you improve if you don't
Yeah.
like have that whole? It's like I'm starting from scratch again, innit? And that
got
is you got to, man. You got to like. I really rate the movement behind that, like, because like I said, I know a lot of people that probably would have crumbled. Like they'd have probably got on a high horse and be like, I don't need to fight after this one. What do you mean? Me, 45 seconds, first debut. What? So I know people's ego would have been on swell. If that was me, I don't know if my ego would have been on swell, but I don't really like the whole, I don't think I could handle the whole getting hit part. Like, I don't know, innit? I don't know if I could really handle it. Like, I'm going to get you to show me some stuff in a bit.
That's the
innit?
that's the part that, like, separates some fighters from the, like, there's that the levels. Do you know what I mean? That's what separates some fighters. I've never had a problem with getting hit. But as a boxer, it's
Part and parcel,
it
innit?
becomes you become numb to it essentially. Like when a punch is being thrown at your face, you have to learn to not do a natural
Flinch,
instinct of flinching or closing your eyes, or do you know what I mean? It becomes part
have
of,
to kinda
part of your
take
life.
that.
Yeah, like that's it. You just got to learn what to do with what they put in, towards your face. Do you know what I mean? You got to learn what to do with it. Slip, roll, move, block, counter, defense. Like that's just you can't just cower away. You're getting knocked out. Aren't you?
So just for the non-viewers out there, innit, I'm just gonna go back to the camp, because obviously we see like films like Rocky and Creed and whatever, and we think the camp is glorified.
Yeah.
What is it really like? Like, what is the difference between like? Because do you have to do camps as an amateur or no?
Yeah, of course you do.
Is the pro camp different? Like
A pro camp's different, yeah, because not at the start, really. At the start, it's the same as kind of being an amateur, apart from it's a different style. But when you're at the start of your career, you just basically be in the gym all the time, get ready. Whatever opportunities comes, take it. And that's, again, with the amateurs, it's just 24/7 in the gym, because you can fight every week as an amateur, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in the pros, because it's a much tougher game, you're only going to fight 3, 4, 5 times a year.
Yeah,
and as you progress even higher, get to world level, you're only going to have 2 or 3 fights a year.
Yeah.
So
the camp's hard.
a camp then becomes be in the gym, ticking over, bam, you get that date. That's when you get down to business and start putting that real graft in, and
That real
it's
work.
like, yeah, your fight's 10 weeks away, let's go. So then your nutrition trains, like what you're eating, if you've got to lose weight, all of them things. So yeah, fitness,
Jesus,
whether
so-
you're doing 10 rounds, 8 rounds, 6, 12, whatever. So you got your coaches. So I have my strength and conditioning coach. He does all my programs where I get sent it on Excel. It's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Click that Monday, tells me what to do. Every evening I'm in here though with my boxing coach. So it's like I'll just click on Monday. Right, you got sprints this morning or whatever. Just go do my sprints. What it says, do them. Tuesday, next one, strength session or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's how it goes.
What do you find to be the personal hardest? Because I could imagine like some people may struggle like with the dieting, some people may struggle with the actual work. I know all of it's going to be hard, but is there like something that you...
The dieting's the hardest because you think we're boxers, we love to fight, so the boxing's not... There's no part... Like, yeah, boxing is tough, like, especially when you get in doing 10-round spars and stuff like that and you're on the diet. Like, yeah, they are tough, but the diet's the horrible bit, do you know what I mean? After you've just done a nice hard session or you've just ran 10 miles, whatever, you've done sprints, everyone wants to go home and have a nice bit of food, do you know what I mean? A burger or, do you know what I mean? Like,
something nice,
something like that, but it's like, you do them hard sessions and then it's like, back to the, like, your chicken and pasta and, or, do you know what I mean? Or your fish or, like, these basic meals that are low in calories, and that's the hard bit for me especially. I love my food. I do love my food. So it's just that. But luckily, I've got a good sponsor that they cook all my meals for me and supply me them once a week. So I go every week, pick up my meals, and it's like they cook fresh. All I have to do is just chuck them in the microwave, eat them. They're fresh and yeah, it's quite simple for me. But
so does that mean, like, for example, when at the start of the camp, let's say the portions start bigger, and then as the camp goes in, do the portions like downsize or?
It's not really about portion size. It's about calories. So I hate to talk about it because it's kind of a boring subject, but it's like...
It may be boring, innit? But there's probably someone watching going, right, this is the key to how to lose weight.
Yeah, well,
this is the best person to talk to.
It's personal though, so like, don't take my like personal experience for like gospel, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But everyone's different, everyone's body's different, but like for me, I have like a base calorie of like 1,600 calories, so basically your body will burn X amount of calories whether you sat on the sofa all day long and did nothing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So whether you was just sat there and did nothing, your body burns that X amount of calories, so you have to then eat less than that. So you have to be in a deficit of say 200-300 calories, and that will make you lose body fat. So that's the way it works. So I have about 1,600, and you separate your meals. So your breakfast, lunch, dinner. Whether you want to have a couple snacks in between, you divide it into however you deem appropriate, and then go from there. And then on top of that, drink your water, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling with the math there, and I'm not gonna lie.
So I think the math was 1,600 calories. You're talking what 4, 8, 12. So 3 separate meals of 400 calories, and then you've got another 400-ish to play with for, like, say if you want a snack, or you say you've had your breakfast. Yeah. You've gone for a run. You've had your breakfast. You come back. You know you've got another session to do later on in that day, but you don't want to eat yet because you want to be fueled for that session, or you're feeling a bit hungry or something. Just have a protein bar or a yogurt or just a snack, some fruit. Do you know what I mean?
Something small within the calories to kind of tide you over, type of thing.
For me, what I like to do is I'll have all my meals, and then I always, again, I love my food, I love my treats, I love my dessert. So I'll try and save like 300-400 calories for after my dinner, and then have like
a one sweet thing.
Have like an ice cream that's within my calorie limit, and that's the way it sort of keeps me sane. Do you know when I'm in camp and I'm grafting? It's like
that treat type of thing.
Yeah, when you know, you're like, right, today at the end of the day, I've got an ice cream because I've worked for it. You know? So that's kind of.
Yeah, I bet that ice cream tastes delicious after, innit? Like, there's no better ice cream.
Tastes better than
just a normal.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Even though it's like healthy ice cream, it's better.
I get what you're saying. God, that is painful though, in a sense, like to just kind of.
It's just the sessions, because you've got to fuel yourself appropriately for them sessions. So you got a big old sparring session. It's like you got to be fueled for it, aren't you? You know what I mean? So.
Because 2-2s, you don't really want to just clap the whole calorie limit in
Oh
one
no,
meal.
you're done then, aren't you?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's like, imagine eating like, I don't know, a one McDonald's full thing, like
Yeah.
you go for the Big Mac large.
Well, you think like you have a burger and like some fries and say like a Coke, that's probably 1,600 calories there. So that's your day's food gone. Like you
That's
ain't.
a bit mad.
So then you have to eat. So you're gonna then eat more, and then you've gone over. But it's again, like I say, it's personal preference and personal to each other's bodies.
So with you, what weight you fight at now?
So I'm sort of like hovering between super featherweight and lightweight. So I started my career at super feather, which is not like 9 stone 4, and then lightweight is 9 stone 8, 9 stone 10ish. So I hover between those two. I sort of can pick and choose because I can make both of them weights. Like obviously I make lightweight more comfortable than I do super featherweight, but I can make both of them.
So does that mean if you go for the super featherweight, that means you've obviously got to lose more weight? Does that mean like lesser calories, like lesser intake?
Yeah, essentially, but you probably just start your diet further out.
Oh, so like, like before the camp kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, try and.
Jesus.
But it all just come down to how much weight you're losing and whether, because your body changes over time, and you could something that you're eating in this camp that you might not have been eating in the last camp, you could lose more weight or you could lose less. You could struggle to drop weight by eating that. It just depends.
Good gosh, so there's a lot. Like, the dedication is strong to it,
Yeah.
like you said. I can understand why the food part is the harder part.
Yeah, it's like especially you got a partner or whatever, or it's the weekend, your day off. It's like they're the days where they catch you as well, because you know when you're grafting and whatnot, you're not as thinking about something as so much. Do you know what I mean? But when you just sat, say it's your rest day, you just sat on the sofa all morning, and Mrs. goes in the cupboard and gets a bowl of like Cocoa Pops or whatever. It's like you can't have them. It's like you're having your porridge. Do you know what I mean?
It looks
Whether it's your day off or not, and you're not trained, you've got to stick to the diet. And it's like lunchtime comes, she's, I don't know, having a Subway or whatever. It's like you're having that same old chicken and pasta, or fish and pasta, fish and rice, chicken and rice, whatever it may be.
Yeah, whatever.
You've got to stick to it, and especially
the temptation in it.
Yeah,
like, it look real
especially when you've got you go out at the weekend or whatever, like your mates are there, go to the pub or something. You go and see them, whatever you want to socialise. Like, oh, do you want to drink? It's like, yeah, I'll have a Diet Coke, or you know when we've been out, like, I'll have a Coke Zero, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta have like the lowest thing.
You just got to avoid it. But again, like you say, it's dedication. So.
But that's sick though. Can we hop out? Because obviously we're in the ring.
Left hand like that. So like that. So the jab, that one, that's your first hand. So as you throw it, you got to turn the knuckle over so it lands like that. And same with the backhand. So that one, And when you do it, stay straight up, and you're just twisting your hips, boom, boom, yeah.
Okay.
So 1, 2.
Which one's my one?
So that's 1, that's 2.
Okay.
So 1, 2, yeah.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 1, 2. Just bring that foot out a little bit. So widen your stance a little bit, just a bit wider, like here. Yeah. 1, 2. 1, 2. See, that's good. A bit more power. Good.
What stance am I in right now? Which?
So that's orthodox.
Okay. So what's the southpaw?
So I'm the other way. I box southpaw.
So what side is that?
That would be your right foot forward, right hand forward, and that's jab.
So is this still 1, or is this 2?
So then, so the lead hand always becomes 1. So that's 1. That's 2. Yeah. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, and again, and again.
No way. So which one do you think I'm better at? Orthodox or southpaw?
They're both just as good as each other. Really.
Is
Let's
it?
have a look again. Let's go other way. Go 1, 2, and step forward into that position. So throw that 1, 2, and I'm gonna step back. You step forward and swap your foot, and then throw it. Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? Go 1, 2, 1, I'll probably say southpaw, you better.
Is it?
I'll probably say
lefty.
I'll probably
Boy,
say
lefty.
your left is probably better.
Boy,
But that's the same as
southpaw.
me. I'm right-handed, so if you say to a boxing coach, "I'm right-handed," they'll instantly say orthodox. So that's
Okay.
your right hand at the back and your left hand forward. But I'm right-handed, but I'm a southpaw, so I had my first 20 fights as an orthodox. It's only been my last three fights that I've had in southpaw.
Is it?
Yeah.
So does it? Well, I can imagine you don't really feel different because you're used to both in that aspect.
Yeah, it's that kind of. It's just defence.
But it just makes you a more dangerous fighter, innit? If you're a
yeah,
southpaw.
basically, yeah. So right, we'll go through this drill. So 1, 2, go southpaw. So 1, 2, oh boy.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 1, 2, and again. Come on now, harder and faster. Good. Right now on the bag, constant 1, 2s.
What? Just keep.
Constant. Let's go.
Jesus.
Let's go. Bit more power on it. Keep going. Now hooks to the body. Yeah, go. Both sides, both hands. Keep going. Now back on the pads. So this is the sort of stuff I'll do. 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, and again, and then repeat. But that was what we do. So that sort of stuff.
Adrian! Yo!
No,
ratings.
You did good. I like that you've got both hands as well. But that's a little taster for you. If you want any more?
I got weak stamina. No, I'm not gonna lie.
Want to try any other shots?
Huh?
Want to try any other punches?
Yeah.
So
What's that?
so then you can go a hook. So turn southpaw again. That way. So a hook. Yeah, that's a hook. Right, yeah. Yeah, nice and hard. Elbow high. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and again. But don't, after you've thrown it, straight back up. Don't like fall down.
Oh, so what? Come straight.
Because if you throw that and you're falling down there,
Yeah.
you're just gonna get.
Jesus, man's just gonna clap
Yeah.
you raw.
So throw the hook. Other side. Hook. That one.
Okay.
Yeah. So. That. Yeah. Again. Good. Again, stay on balance. Yeah.
Keep the guard up, I guess.
So then you got a rear uppercut. So uppercut is that one.
So what's
that
this called? A rear uppercut?
Rear uppercut. Yeah, and then a lead uppercut.
Same thing.
So a lead uppercut is that one. So it's just like that. So have your hands there like that. So you just throw it like that.
Oh, so just.
Yeah.
So what's the difference then? Like.
So that's your lead hand and that's your backhand.
Oh.
That's going to be a power shot. You're going to try and really hurt someone with that. Whereas like you got the jab there, you sort of vary it like that,
So
flick
the
it.
first one was that a jab?
So that's a jab. That's a backhand or a cross.
Okay.
That's a hook. That's a hook. That's an uppercut. And that's an uppercut. And then you've got a body shot.
Oh, what?
That would be a body shot. And then that would be it, the other side. Yeah.
Jesus.
There's lots of variations. Then you can throw like a overhand right. So obviously you're throwing a cross, which is straight. An overhand right would be when they throw like a windmill kind of shot. Do you know what you see like Wilder throw and big?
Yeah, that
So that's-
destructive blow just
Yeah. So that's the
crunches
overhand.
a man's face.
It's an overhand, a bowler. So
Jesus, credit where credit's due, you know, because this is hard. I'm not even just doing this like, like capping like this is hard. Like,
as they say, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
yeah, it's true. Credit where credit's due, man. Like you've got serious talent to go from amateur to pro in such a short time. To do the groundwork for it all the time, like
It's
dedication, man.
Passion in it though, like with anything. If you don't love what you do,
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
true.
gonna be determined to do it. And again, like I said to you before, I wanna be someone that does something with my life. I don't want to just be like working 9 to 5 for the rest of my life.
No, yeah.
I wanna, at the end of it, I wanna be able to say to my kids, I was this, or I tried at least. Do you know what I mean? Like,
or I got so far. You can say you've done it. Do you know them ones there?
even now, at the point I'm at in my career, I've had 9 fights. Yeah, 9 fights. Won 8, lost 1. That one that I lost, obviously I don't think I lost. My coach don't think I lost.
Yeah.
It's one of them. But It was on Sky Sports. I can say to my kid, if I retired tomorrow, I could say to him,
that, bro. You've been on Sky Sports as well. He's been on Sky Sports. Don't forget this, yo.
if I retired tomorrow and I had kids, I can say I boxed on Sky Sports. And
How was the Sky Sports thing like? What was that like?
It was.
Was it surreal? Like,
It was, yeah, a little bit. Where it's like you got the media workouts, and it's like you got Sky Sports, and it's like people at home are seeing Sky Sports post stuff, your faces on things. It's like it is weird. Like when it first happened, you sort of forget it as well. It's like I was walking through Tesco, and the night before, it was when I don't quote me on it, but I think it was when Amir Khan and Kell Brook boxed, and on that advertisement, there was photos of like me and the other fighters and that on the fight. And I was like walking through Tesco, and this guy was like staring at me. And I was like, I'm sort of like what the f*** you staring at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this guy was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, I think I saw you on Sky last night. And I was like, and it just clicked in my head. I was like, sorry, mate, like, didn't realise. But them sort of moments, do you know what I mean? But yeah,
like that's where it really sinks in.
Yeah,
it's like you even had the opportunity for a title fight as well, innit?
So yeah, then my last fight was a title fight. It wasn't nothing like it wasn't on TV or anything, but it was a title. So yeah, trained for that for 12 weeks, grafted, and went to the weight below and everything to box for this title. And the guy didn't weigh in on weight, came in 12 pounds overweight. So then the fight got cancelled because we tried to like negotiate the fight and make it still happen, weight above, or he came in at whatever weight it was, I stayed in weight, but the border control wouldn't allow it, so I had to move on, just boxed in a 4-round fight, and they're the sort of like trials and tribulations you have to go through as a boxer.
That's crazy. So you can do all of that work, all of that, the dieting, the countless time in the gym, then it gets to the final like point where you gotta weigh in.
Oh, literally,
And
the fight was on the Friday and it was on the Wednesday.
That's
So,
crushing, man.
Emotionally, it's heartbreaking. Like, it's hard to explain how.
I couldn't. It would be devastating. I'd be devastated.
You've
Like
dieted,
you've trained hard for
you've
it,
spent money,
and especially with it being a title as well. You're thinking your mind's in a different zone because you're thinking this is the thing that could change everything.
Yeah, and not only that, it's like it's like on your body. It's hard. Like I was doing 10-round spars because it was a 10-round fight. You know what I mean? When you've got a 4 or 6 round fight, most boxers can do 4 or 6 rounds like with ease. Do you know what I mean? Easy. But when you're taking punishment and you spar and you like fighting for 10 rounds, 30 minutes of getting punched, like it's a lot on your body. It takes a toll and it's just emotionally draining. And that's for me. That and the financial side, they're the worst parts of that. I don't mind, again, like I said to you before, I don't mind boxing, I love boxing. Dieting, yeah, don't like it, but running and doing my fitness, my strength work, all that, I don't mind it, I enjoy it, like I like to be active. But when you're sparring, you're doing 10-round spars, you're coming out with black eyes and...
Yeah, your body's coming back at them.
Do you know what I mean? And you do that all for it to collapse on the 2 days before the fight. It's heartbreaking. It's just.
It feels like it's a bit of a waste.
It
You feel like
it takes a lot out.
Why have I worked so hard for just for this to happen?
Yeah, it takes a lot out of you. But God's plan, it all happens for a reason.
Onwards and upwards, innit? You just got to keep going to
you have
the
to.
next one.
If you let that knock you, then
then what else? What
do you know what I mean?
for,
So
really?
you just got to keep your chin up, go again, and the title will come eventually. So
when's your next fight?
So next fight should be on the 10th of December, all being well, no injuries, none of
Where would it be
these
at,
things.
in case anyone?
It's at Harvey Haddon, back in Nottingham. So the first time I've boxed in Nottingham for probably about 3 or 4 fights now. So we're back in our hometown, back at the old office of ours. Yeah. And so it's going to be a good night. It's coming up to Christmas time, so it could be like a Christmas works do for people. So yeah,
that'd be cool, man. Kind of going back to where it all began in a sense, because that was your first
debut.
Yeah, your first professional fight.
I had my next like 3 or 4 fights after that. So yeah, it's back to the home ground basically.
Home turf.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That's it, man. But quick question: what do you do in your downtime? Like obviously we know you train a lot, diet a lot, like the whole thing. So what do you do in your downtime? What does Joe enjoy?
It depends in camp, out of camp, but say if I'm in camp, a lot of gaming. I like to game.
What games you be on?
At the minute, I'm playing a lot of FIFA.
Okay.
A lot of FIFA, and then today, the new Call of Duty came out, Modern Warfare 2. So this morning I was, I was on it this morning. You know what I'm like.
Yeah.
I was on it this morning, first thing, trying that out, and yeah. So that's sort of probably gonna be me for the next. Yeah, that's gonna be me for the next couple of weeks. But like I say, I'm in camp, so it's like you say, in my downtime when I'm resting, when I got my days off, or in the evenings after I've grafted. It's always good to get on the computer and play that. Out of camp, I like to play football instead of playing on the game in FIFA or whatever. I like to play football. I grew up playing football all my life, so I like to play football with the lads, five-a-side, whatever, kick about in the park.
So you always like to be physically active.
Yeah, and then other than that, I like to eat food, Josh. So eating food is something I love to do. So. Yeah,
sick, man.
Eat a lot of food
and just relax. I don't blame you.
Yeah, that's it. When you're out of camp, you gotta enjoy yourself. Otherwise, it then becomes like you don't. Yeah, you're forcing yourself to go and do it. You know, so like, do I have to go and do that again? And you never want that because, like we said before, you gotta enjoy what you do. You gotta love what you do. So yeah, when I'm not in the gym, plenty of food, enjoy family time, friends, family, socialise, and then. When it comes to the fight, it's like that switch. You just have to switch. You're going into a fight, so your health's on the line, and it's just all or nothing. For me, that's just personally the way I am. I'm all or nothing into the camp. So it's like essentially kill or be killed, and that's the way I look at it. Do you know what I mean?
It's probably the best way to
There's
look
only
at
one
it.
king of the jungle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. The lions eat first.
That's it.
The lions eat first. But right, Joe, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah,
thank you for coming on.
Very grateful.
Till the next time, we're out. Peace.